Ledama than you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you. I rise to support this very timely statement by the chairperson of the Legal Committee. Mr. Chairman has grown to be someone whom I actually knew him in the past when he was a milk vendor. But I'm very proud of him now as a senator of Nandi for the good work that he has been doing. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I stand here today, I'm a worried man. I'm worried because this constitution, we might as well just throw it in the dustbin. The role of the judiciary is to defend that constitution. But when you see a notice from a registrar a deputy registrar of a court in Kenya that reads as follows: due to judiciary budget cuts, we have been unable to facilitate the 3-judge bench scheduled for the 28th October 2019. Someone once said, justice delayed is justice denied. If legal redress is available for a party that has suffered an injury, but it's not forthcoming in a timely fashion, it is ineffective, Mr. Speaker, sir. Last week, was it last week or early this week, when I saw the Chief Justice giving a presser and stating clearly that he is not respected, he is denied certain services, a lot of things just came to mind. And I wondered, if you don't like Maraga as a person, why can't you not respect that institution? Mr. Speaker, sir, the 3 arms of governments were brought about so that they can check each other. You know, they are equal arms of government: the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. But the biggest problem, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I hope that this time, this parliament can actually take this opportunity to be able to correct this, is to ensure that, and when I say parliament, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm not speaking only of the Senate or the National Assembly, but I'm speaking about both houses. When people talk about constitutional amendments, the first thing we must do is to ensure that when we have a constitution which is supposed to be defended or protected by one arm of government, we must ensure that when we are doing the Appropriation Act, we have different Appropriations Acts. I've heard my colleague talking about the executive controlling the other arm of government by ensuring that Treasury is part of the executive. I think that's where we went wrong. The only way that we can be able to ensure that each arm of government does its work effectively is when we relook at Article 219 of this Constitution. Currently, it only protects county governments. And in this Senate, when we are here, we are sitting happy because we know this Constitution has protected the little money that we sent to the county governments. I think it's about time that when we think about amending the Constitution, we think about coming up with different Appropriations Act, when we define the shareable revenue differently, we share the revenue through equally or through appropriation, through the 3 different forms of arms of government. It is a very, very sad occasion in this country when so many cases, people on a daily basis are injured. They run to court. But when they cannot get justice, we might as well say Kenya is a free country now for you to commit any crime. Because when you go to the judiciary, they have no money to be able to hear you. This is a very worrisome trend, Mr. Speaker, sir. And this House and all distinguished senators and honorable members of parliament must rise up to the occasion. There's no way we are going to have a country called Kenya if we violate this Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, when you talk about the separation of power, a doctrine of constitutional law under which the 3 branches of governments are kept separate, we must respect that. If we don't respect that, then I think we are just living in a jungle. This is not a country. I had recently the news, or rather the media, replaying the clips of when the president was saying, we shall revisit, calling the judiciary Hawa Kora. And I wondered, what is the use of the handshake? I thought the handshake was supposed to come in so that it can be able to heal all these, problems. We succeeded in bringing, in fact, to a point where some people say there's no longer an opposition in this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is really sad that sometimes some of us believe that the handshake was only made to be able to make certain people happy, yet destroy others. It is sad. And as a young legislator, it is about time, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we tell the executive that what you're doing is wrong. It is wrong. It is absolutely ludicrous for a Chief Justice to stand and say, I cannot even be accorded the respect of a Chief Justice. Hate the man, but respect the institution. Respect him, because he was appointed by you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, what worries me is that if we continue like this, and I say this, and I'm going to repeat it again, every Kenyan is going to say there's no law in this country. Because where I'm supposed to get justice, hey, they are not given any money to be able to constitute a bench. So I think, and I pray to God, that reason will prevail so that we can be able to respect different opinions. We must respect the rule of law, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir.
You better start concluding, because we have a lot of interests.
As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to request the President of this Republic to go back and spend a couple of days reading through this Constitution. That's number one. Number two, I request the President of this Republic of Kenya to call the Chief Justice, because I remember him making a statement saying that he hopes that the Chief Justice will be able to meet with him so that they can be able to caucus and talk about the issues of this country. And the President was right, because the Chief Justice's role is to link the judiciary with other arms of government. I hope that they can be able to do that now for the sake of this country we call Kenya. And at the end, we might be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, sir, we approved the debt ceiling. A lot of people are bashing us for having done that. And we came out clear and we said, we can no longer afford these commercial loans. If those commercial loans can be retired so that we can be able to have money in this country, please, the last people who should be denied money is the judiciary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.